away today from the Philadelphia Eagles. Perhaps a bunch of rubber masks. The underdog masks. I'm just kidding. I just made that up.
Well, they're definitely not.
No, they're the favorites.
They would have actually been the dogs had the Saints made it, but the NFL couldn't have that. That's not the way that the rules are supposed to go.
Apparently.
Right.
Anyways,
Right.
so let's move on from this for a minute. We're going to talk about the referees in just a minute. But first, something that I think is going to cheer you up, Tony.
Go for it.
In order to be an MVP,
This is more believable than any of the two bullshit that happened in the last game. So by all means, go ahead.
you have to have a personality, and Baker Mayfield has just that. In a recent episode of The Manning Hour, hosted by Cooper Manning, Baker appeared in a segment called Baking with Baker, set, of course, in a kitchen. Baker and Manning went back and forth, trading jokes and burns. One notable exchange went as such. Manning, look, if you're not a fan of kitchens, that's okay. Baker said, nah, I love kitchens. Manning said, yeah, kitchens are great. They're better than Jackson's. Baker said, anything is better than you. You. Sense of humor in full swing. Baker Mayfield is not just a football player. He's not just a superstar. He is becoming an empire. And that is why he is your 2018-2019 NFL MVP. As this is winding down, obviously I started this as a joke, but I fucking love watching Baker Mayfield. He's
Baker
awesome.
Mayfield certainly got the charisma and everything, so I'll give him that. He's shown that he can play at this stage. He is Johnny Manziel without all the Johnny Manziel problems. His favorite off the field thing he's ever done is get tackled by the police.
to which he has sat there and taken interview after interview after interview.
Sure he did. Well,
faced
of course, he had to. What's the police officer who was like, man, that was dumb. You are stupid. Like,
no, I'm saying, as a, like if this were a point system, point for him, because anytime anyone calls him for an interview, they obviously run the questions by. They know what they're going to be asked. He just sucks it up and takes it. Says, listen, I was an idiot. This happened. And whatever,
well,
he responds well to it.
You can't ignore it,
No.
Because if you did, eventually some, wisecracking up and coming reporter is going to be like, so about the arrest, I know I didn't bring you this ahead of time, but I'm going to pop it in here in this interview, see if it gets you.
To which I would respond, I'm going to go get some arrest. See you later. Anyways.
It's like Colin Cowherd when he clips together things and then makes it seem like
it was
it's
him.
analysis.
He was the one that fucking Colin Cowherd. How does he have a job?
I don't know.
And we don't. Do you have a rant?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I exuded all of my energy on the NFL refs.
I have a rant.
Then by all means.
I have a rant. It's actually like a two-part rant.
Okay.
First, there was a report yesterday, that, get this, Carson Wentz is selfish. All right, first part of the rant is this. One, if you think that all of these celebrities, these athletes, these actors, these comedians, these musicians are just good people in general, you're a fucking idiot. All right? Why do we treat these people who are just... First of all, they're trying to make a living. I know that they're making more money than we are, but Dak Prescott, only making $407,000. He's not making the millions that the other quarterbacks are. He's not making... Same with Carson Wentz. These aren't like these gods that we should be looking up to. These are just everyday people who happen to have a fucking talent. Carson Wentz, has absolutely no responsibility to be anything other than a good enough human being.
Why is he selfish? I don't understand.
Because he doesn't... he plays favorites.
What the fuck's that supposed to be?
He isn't willing to get the ball to certain people. And
I wouldn't throw to Alshon Jeffrey either.
No, it was an anonymous source. But it's, regardless of what the play is, he's going to check out of it and throw it to Zach Ertz. That's a smart fucking play. That is That's exactly what you should be doing if you see a defense that isn't good. Anyways, so why are people always so fucking surprised when these celebrities turn out to be assholes? Like, they're people. Don't hold them to a higher standard just because they're a celebrity. They just happen to be good at something. I'm good at fucking juggling. Why hold me to a higher standard, right?
But there's no higher standard to be upheld here.
Well, a lot of people, these guys are role models. They should be better for our children. No,
Dude,
that's not their job.
Shut up. That's the same dude that's praising Randy Moss and forgets that he hit some dude with a truck. Okay? I don't want to hear that.
That's exactly my point. Like this guy, he's a fucking person. All right? Again, I know this isn't coherent. He's not a fucking god. He's not perfect. He might be an asshole. Tony's an asshole. We love Tony.
Well, I've never claimed to be anything else.
So why are we... like, same with Disney Channel stars. Like, why, like... Okay, they didn't ask to be role models. They just wanted to get paid because they can kind of act a little bit. Like, I get not everyone is as bad as my former idols. Not anymore. Jared Fogle. Apparently he's a real piece of shit. Bill Cosby, also a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know?
But yet,
he's an asshole. Who cares? He's a fucking asshole. Let him be.
Yeah, meanwhile, Roethlisberger's still selling jerseys after 3 reports of rape.
Exactly. The other half of my rant is the fucking reporter who takes anonymous sources.
I have a big problem with, and this is in general, I don't care if it's sports.
You fucking made that story up.
I don't care if this is any reporter, sports or otherwise. You should never be taken seriously if you're using anonymous sources. If you're getting anonymous sources, here's a word of advice for everyone. And I didn't take journalism, but I know this. Don't write the fucking story. Because nobody can verify your information. If you want to say that this was a high-level person who happens to be involved with the team...
A member of the coaching staff who asked not to be named.
Yes, that's fine. But the second you say anonymous... I'm starting to think that you had a conversation with fucking Daenerys Targaryen, okay? Because it doesn't matter to me who it is. It could be anyone. You could be having this conversation with Rick and Morty for all.
Do you know who it might be? Could be any one of the 200 and some odd players that played with him in North Dakota.
Or you might be one of the few people Jesus talked to you. How am I supposed to know?
It could be a reporter who had a conversation with him and was like, wow, he's kind of an asshole. Anonymous sources are a joke. Be credible.
Anonymous source turns out to be his 85-year-old grandfather.
Anonymous source is a fucking mirror.
Yelling at the TV over sports highlights. Meanwhile, he's already seen the way that Ali Frazier turns out, but he thinks it's going to be different this time.
Yeah. And you know what else? Like, if you want to run this story, why sit behind this anonymity and this bullshit of, well, I have a source.
That being
why not just take it to Carson Wentz?
The answer is that people eat this shit up. Like, you know, that's why we have this rise in clickbait of all sorts. It's not just anonymous source saying it's, oh, look at this one neat trick to do this to get you to click on this article link. You know, it's first to the punch for everything now, so they can't even wait to verify info anymore before they've got to get it out or have someone else beat them with the scoop.
He's right, because it is also a product of this society that we live in now, where if you're not first, you're last. Like, it's a Ricky Bobby mentality with putting news out there that, like, oh, we've got this, we've got to get it out there before anybody else does. Never mind the fact that
it might not be true.
2 to 3 days later, it comes out that it was fucking bullshit. Like, the people that wrote the story about, and, like, the people that they have quoted as saying this has it, like, those people are like, yeah, we didn't say any of that.
How about this? You have an anonymous source. Anonymous source says Carson Wentz is an asshole. Let me speak with Carson Wentz. Carson, I have a person who told me firsthand that you are selfish because of this, this, and this. Would you like to respond so that I can get this out there? And if he refuses to respond...
But obviously the fucking...
Again. You can even put in the article, confronted Carson, refuse to respond. That gives credibility.
A lot of people do that in stories. Like, tried multiple times to reach out by publication, individual has not responded.
That gives them more credibility because the person refusing to answer these questions, that's basically them admitting guilt. Like, yeah, I'm an asshole. See ya.
I mean, it's not them admitting guilt. It's just...
Hang on. I don't think that's admitting guilt.
Yeah,
either.
that's just... They just didn't get back to him, so, you know.
Well, no, I'm saying if, like, you're face-to-face, you're like, hey, do you want to respond to these? Like, nah.
Yeah, but I mean, usually if somebody's called and, like, you don't give a response and then you see the article, then...
You could easily make the problem worse. That's that kind of gotcha journalism that is... also plaguing us.
Well, that's the other thing too. Like that. What is this? Who is this journalist? Does he cover Philly sports?
Yes.
Okay, well then fuck him because he's not a Philly fan. Here's the other problem that this arises that he doesn't even fucking think of. Now everybody in that locker room, everyone
is going to turn on each other.
Everyone's looking for a snitch. Everyone's like, I don't know if I can trust this motherfucker.
And you can narrow it down. It's either a running back or a wide receiver, because who else are they not getting the ball to?
Well, it's probably Alshon Jeffrey, because he's a huge piece of shit.
Potentially Alshon Jeffrey.
Or, no, I'm sorry.
Nelson Aguilar.
Nelson Aguilar. He's the piece of shit.
Yeah. Or, it could be...
I mean, that's just personal. But
it could Corey Clement. Like, I don't feel like I get enough touches.
Fuck you, Corey Clement. Nobody knows
Doesn't
who you
matter.
are.
We don't... I mean, he had a big touchdown. But
no one cares.
Regardless.
No one cares. No one cares. He will be forgotten in history.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
Probably.
He's young.
I've seen him run.
It's probably Wendell Smallwood.
Again, blip on the radar.
Oh.
He's a pebble dropping into an ocean in the history that is the NFL.
He might be.
Drop in a rain.
I'm trying to find out who it was that wrote the article, like the person's name. Oh, man. Anyways.
It doesn't matter. If he's from Philadelphia, that's all I need to know. Because that's again, what is to be gained by that article coming out? Your notoriety because you produced an article that has no way of being sourced or verified, and you've done nothing for the team except for created drama throughout the offseason leading into next season.
You know, it was probably Nick Foles.
It couldn't possibly be Nick Foles because what does he care? He's leaving.
That might be why. Fuck that. Send him. Give me the big money to stay. I like it in Philly. I've been successful in Philly. Trade his ass. Give me cash. I mean, I don't think it's Nick Foles. I don't even think it's anybody.
I think it was somebody who, told them that they're friends with somebody on the team. And it's like, dude, you have never been to the stadium. I see you at the bar every Sunday.
Or someone on the practice squad. He's kind of
I'm not even affiliated with the team in any way. Just said he knew a guy who happened to be on the team.
He eats a Philly occasionally.
Yeah,
it's just the journalist himself. He asked for an interview. The guy told him no, and he's like, "Oh, this guy's a fucking asshole."
Right? No, I think the quote unquote anonymous source is just him observing Carson Wentz. Back to my original point: who cares if he's an asshole?
I don't. And what makes him think that this is groundbreaking story? Really, quarterbacks have had favorites. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Steve Young was pretty fond of getting the ball to Jerry Rice. So yeah, no shit that they would get it to reliable pass catchers.
I mean, in all fairness, if there's a receiver like Jerry Rice, if you ask anyone on the Dallas Cowboys, what's the smart play? Back in the 2007 season, what's the smart play? Romo throwing it to T.O.
What's supposed to be the point of this? Tom Brady has always had Wes Welker and Julian Edelman, and he clearly has a bias towards them. This happens all the time. Matt Stafford had a bias towards going to Calvin Benjamin, or not Calvin Benjamin, Calvin Johnson, because it's fucking Calvin Johnson. Until Ben Roethlisberger got too big for his fucking britches, he was throwing to AB all day because it.
And before that it was Martavis Bryant.
Yeah,
and before that it was Santonio Holmes.
This happens. Jameis Winston goes all the time to Mike Evans. I wonder why.
You have a number one receiver for a reason.
Really? Eli goes to Odell a lot. Really? Shocking.
Surprise.
Stop the presses.
Unless you have a truly talented, crazy...
Yeah, but you're also saying he checks down to... Oh, I'm sorry. He's checking down to arguably top 3 tight end in the league?
I would confidently say he was the best tight end in the league last year.
But that being said, like that's the